Now on to the second topic, ParaSport.
Our initial thoughts on the topic ParaSport was that to participate, you have to be clearly defined with a disability, whereas there is a huge range of events and possibilities to be considered that can make you eligible to participate. We also believe that this content helps others and us become aware of the parasport world and just how massive it really is. Something that was new to us was the long list of eligible impairment types and the history of parasport. This list of impairment types includes things like leg length difference, short stature, and intellectual impairments, as well as others that you don't necessarily think of when parasport comes to mind. We brought a lot of experience into this topic because of our sports sponsorship and fundraising class last semester. We were tasked to create a giant grant bid assignment for a city in Ontario to host the Parasport Games. This gave us a lot of background knowledge and research about the fundamentals of parasport and hosting a massive event. Something that surprised us is the history of parasport, and the fact that it only dates back to 1948 for the Stoke Mandeville Games for war veterans. With such a long history, it seems like parasport games, or equivalent of it, should be around for a lot longer. Another stat that surprised us was that 14% of Canadians are eligible to compete in parasport, which is a lot of people for a nation of 35 million plus. From the experience our guest speaker talked about, how his athletes are some of the most passionate people on the planet, and the advancement in technology. Both of these things are difficult for us to wrap our heads around, because many years ago he described how injuries used to be permanent and cause death, but now you have a much higher chance of living and regaining health because of the advancement in technology.
Now on to critical thinking in regards to parasport. So what challenged us? Some of the challenging parts of parasport were some of the games we were able to play on experience day. Some of the games we got a chance to play was sitting volleyball, sledge hockey, and wheelchair basketball, just to name a few. I named some of these games in particular because we got a taste of parasport games and we found it difficult to play. Sitting volleyball was challenging because first off, it was a small area and you could only use your upper body to move yourself. The same goes for sledge hockey. This really puts everything into perspective and as students makes you gain a whole new respect for para athletes and the sport itself. Furthermore, some of these challenging games created an empathetic vibe because we got to experience how some of the athletes feel. What other questions we have about parasport? Questions we have about parasport is if there's going to be any new sports or activities para athletes can participate in. We feel that because technology is enhancing and coming up with new improvements, these athletes are able to perform in more activities. This also gives a chance for some of the winter games to expand as there are far more summer games for the para athletes to participate in. What areas of this topic would you like to know more about? An area of this topic we would like to know more is information about the para athletes. We admit that it was very interesting to know about the para sport events, both winter and summer events, as well as some national and international events. But if there was something to learn more about, it would be the athletes themselves because we would get to know how they feel. We would get more insight on how they got to where they are, and as students would get to share their passion for the sport with them.
Now on to future forward. In parasport, it is amazing how people with disabilities can do what they want even though they're disabled. There are a lot of people in the world that complain about something bad happening and go through depression when they get terrible grades. Life is tough and you can overcome any obstacle that life hands you. The only problem is it is you who has to put in the effort. They put in twice the amount of effort to get where they want, and people are always complaining and they don't have to put in as much effort. A person can get handed a job and complain about it. These athletes should inspire you. They should inspire you because there is absolutely no excuse that you can't do something if they can do it. Another key learning is that a lot of surgeries where there was high possibility of dying is now way lower than it used to be. It's amazing how far technology and doctors have come from being able to fix something that you couldn't fix before and now you can live from it. Thanks to everyone for watching and listening to ParaSport. Our next topic will be Games Day operations.